Okay, buddy, it's time for us to get into real business. We just created a house, right? But do you remember our actual mission to create a castle? Well then, let's get started. So how about we start designing with a small tower? Well, actually, the tower structure will also be useful for us in designing of the castle. So buddy, be focused, okay? Talking about the castle towers, did you know that a castle tower is one of the most defensive structures used in castles? As the gate is always a vulnerable point of a castle, towers may be built near it to strengthen the defenses at the gate of a castle. So initially, to build the wall structure of the tower, move the cursor to the Basic Shapes tab and select the cylinder shape seen first in the second row. Now, drag and place it at the left side of the work plane. Then yes, let's give a befitting color for the cylinder. So, click on the solid option from the specification box and pick the pale yellow color. Okay, the cylinder has now turned to a pale yellow color. And now what? Yes, the dimensions of the cylinder. So to set the dimensions for the cylinder, click on the white handle at the right bottom of the cylinder and select the length value. Assign the length as 24 and press Enter key. We want the width of the cylinder to be also 24. So select the value of length and set it as 24. Then press Enter key. Now to adjust the height of the cylinder, click on white handle at the top of the cylinder, then select the height and set it as 23. Then press the Enter key. Okay, so now we are going to make a duplicate copy of this cylinder. You wonder why? We have to make the cylinder's interior hollow in order to insert the conical roof of the tower. Only then we will get a tower, right? So, in order to get the roof of the tower right, we first have to make the cylinder hollow. Then how can we do it by adding a duplicate cylinder? Let's check it out and solve all our confusions. So, to make a duplicate copy of the cylinder, move the cursor to the taskbar at the top left side of the screen. You can see the duplicate tool icon, right? We already have the cylinder shape selected now. So just click on the duplicate tool icon to generate a duplicate cylinder. Yes, that's it. The duplicate cylinder is now created and it is glued to the original one. So let's now get it separated from the original by moving it to the left side using the arrow keys. Now let's adjust the dimensions of the cylinder and make it hollow to insert it inside the original cylinder to make the original one's interior hollow. So click on the white handle at the right bottom of the duplicate cylinder. Select the value of length to set it as 22. And press Enter key. Also click on the width value and assign it to as 22. Then press Enter key. Let the height remain as default now and we can change it if it's needed later. Okay? So now let's make the cylinder hollow and insert it inside the original cylinder. Then how do we make the cylinder's interior hollow? Alright, just move the cursor to the specification box and click on the hole option. That's it, buddy. The cylinder has now turned hollow. Okay, we can now insert this hollow cylinder into the required position. So move the hollow cylinder and place it inside the original cylinder using arrow keys. We have to get its alignment perfect if we have to make the cylinder hollow. So get an aerial view of the cylinder by adjusting the 3D cursor to get a top view of the cylinder. Yes, that's good. Now the hollow cylinder has to be placed exactly like a ring inside the original one. So adjust its position precisely using the arrow keys. But buddy, we cannot afford to take a risk regarding the alignment of the hollow cylinder as it has to be perfect when we make the original cylinder's interior hollow. So let's use the Align tool to check the precision of the alignment. Then select the structure completely by dragging the mouse. Now move the cursor to the toolbar and then click on the Align tool icon. Woohoo! Our alignment is up to the mark, buddy. You see those black dots at the center of all sides have blurred? That implies that our alignment is correct and we don't need to make any further modifications. The black dots appear when we click the Align, as you know. If the black dot at the center of a side is blurred, that means the alignment is already precise. But if it is not blurred, we must click on the center dot of the particular side that we want to get the alignment to be perfect. So yes, let's now make the cylinder's interior hollow. And how do we do that? With the help of the group tool, my partner. As we group both the cylinders, it will turn into a single entity and the space that the hollow cylinder cover will be completely effaced. Then select the structure completely by dragging the mouse once again. Now move the cursor to the toolbar at the top right side and click on the group tool icon, or simply press the shortcut key Ctrl+G. Yes, the hollow cylinder is now vanished and all it remains is a cylinder with its interiors made hollow. So let's now insert our roof portion of the tower. For that, we want to insert a conical structure into the work plane. So move the cursor to the basic shapes and then select the cone shape. There, it is placed second in the third row of the basic shapes tab. So drag and drop it to a place near the cylinder. Then we can first set a color for the roof of the tower. So what about red, which we also give it to the roof of the gatehouse? Yes, that seems like a good idea. So click on the solid option from the specification box to access the color palette. Now pick the red color from the color palette. Okay, now we can set the dimensions for the roof of the tower. So click on the white handle at the right bottom of the cone to adjust the length and width. Then select the length to set it as 30 and press Enter key. Also click on the value of width to set it to as 30 and press Enter key. To set the height of the cone, click on the white handle at the top of the cone and select the height. Then assign the height as 22 and press Enter key. Alright, the dimensions are set now. And you know, now it's time to get the roof to its proper position. So click on the triangle arrow and lift it upwards until the base of the cone reaches the height of the top of the cylinder. Now move and place the cone to the top of the cylinder using arrow keys. Well, the cone has now come down a bit to be merged with the cylinder, right? So click on the triangle arrow and drag it downwards to position it properly. Okay, that's enough, I think. Now, to make the alignment precise, we must want to use the Align tool. So select the tower structure completely by dragging the mouse. Then move the cursor to the toolbar and click on the Align tool, or simply press L button. The black dot-like structures have appeared around the tower. And if you look at it, we can see the black dot at the center of the front portion is blurred. So that means the alignment in the front portion is exact. And if the dots are not blurred, just click on the dot at the center to get it aligned perfectly. So now let's click on the black dot at the center of the left side to get the alignment at the left side precise. That's it. Now take a detailed look at the tower by using the 3D cursor. And you can see that the tower is now precisely aligned. Did you know that the average time it generally took to build a castle was 10 years? Just imagine that, 10 years for a single castle. That's so much time, right? But hey, we haven't added the door to the tower. So yes, you now know the next step is to add the door to the tower. Last time when we added the door for the house, we used the box shape, right? But this time there are some differences in adding the door. Here we are not creating the door itself, but the space for the door. So we have to create the space for the door instead of the actual door. This is similar to the process we did for adding the roof. But yes, there will be little changes in this step. Doing it this way makes it more real, as we are designing the castle in 3 dimensions. So yes, let's see how this is done. Alright, so for creating the space of the door, we are going to use another shape. Guess which one? Alright, the round roof shape. So move the cursor to the Basic Shapes tab and select the round roof shape next to the cone shape. Now drag and drop it onto the work plane. Okay, first let's paint the door of the house. So click on the solid option from the specification box. Then pick the dark brown color from the color palette. Now let's adjust its dimensions. So click on white handle at the right bottom of the round roof and then select the width. Set the width as 6 and press Enter key. Let the length remain as default as 20 for now. Then to adjust the height, click on the white handle at the top of the round roof and select the height value. Then assign the height as 14 and press Enter key. Now we have to position this round roof to the required position. This has to be placed in the front portion of the tower. But it has to be positioned as it is partially inserted inside the wall structure and the remaining part protruding outside of the wall structure. Let me show you how. So move the round roof rightwards using the right arrow key and position it as its half portion is inserted inside the wall structure. Yes, just like that. We can further adjust its position using the arrow keys. Okay, we can now make this round roof hollow to create adequate space for the door to be added. So move the cursor to the specification box and click on Hole option. That's it. The round roof has now turned hollow. Now take a good look at the hollow round roof from all the directions using the 3D cursor. What is to be done now is to create the space for the door. Of course, we can group this round roof with the wall structure. Then the hollow round roof will be erased completely by giving us the space for the door. Then select the portion of the wall containing the hollow round roof by dragging the mouse. Now click on the group tool icon in the toolbar or press Ctrl+G. It's done. The grouping is over now. And we can see that the space for adding the door is now well reserved within the wall structure of the tower. Yes, and now you know why we selected the round roof structure for creating the space for the door, right? Yes, just take a close look at the space for the door from various directions using the 3D cursor. And you can see that the door space is perfectly curved, just like the good old castles. Wow, how interesting is this process, right?